I am here today to talk about how incredibly important it is to stop the politics and pass an immigration reform bill this year. Our country's immigration system is badly broken. Everyone knows it, everyone knows we need to do something about it, and it is now time to get something done. In June, the Senate voted 68 to 32 to adopt a bill of the immigration reform. Even 18 Republicans voted for it, including John McCain. President Bush is also a very strong supporter of this bill. Polls by the Public Policy Research Institute and Quinnipiac both shows a huge percentage of Americans that want this bill to be passed. Our current immigration laws are hurting our economy at a time when we need all the help we can get. It is also driving 11 million undocumented aliens into shadows, skirting the law and feeling like outcasts. But due to politics and unfounded emotions, House Republicans are blocking the Senate bill from even being debated. This delay is a travesty. There are even people in Washington, D.C. in a hunger strike to get House Republicans to do something about this. The time is now. The House Republicans need to stop the politics and pass the Senate's immigration reform bill this year. The immigration reform bill does a great job balancing many different immigration issues that have existed for many years. And are interrelated and are far better dealt with at one time. These different issues include border security with firm requirements, a path for citizenship that is conditioned on border security, the payment of fines and taxes for speaking English, more flexibility for highly skilled workers that is needed for a modern society, updated rules for law workers, humane rules to allow for family immigration with special flexibility for children who were brought here by their parents and it was not their fault to be brought here, and employment verification. Make sure that employees all follow one set of rules. The balance of issues is based on an equal balance of core values. Strong enforcement of the new rules so there is a level playing field and increasing credibility in the system. Legalizing 11 million undocumented, again improving the credibility of the system. Modernizing the immigration system to improve the economy. And good old-fashioned compassion. Look at this picture of a second generation Hispanic family. They can look like your family and mine. They have dreams and are American and are as American as me and you. But by chance they are not documented, it's time to show some compassion. The opponents are standing on issues that are mostly emotional, often repugnant, and in the end, simply obstructionist. There are 5 most common arguments against the immigration reform bill, according to BalancePolitics.org, an article by Molly Ball in The Atlantic. Number 1. They view the bill as amnesty. Since illegal aliens are illegal, we are warning them for doing something against the law. The House Republicans will never agree to a bill that has amnesty in it. 2. Immigrants use a lot of government services but don't pay nearly enough taxes. 3. The fear that we have too many people in the U.S. already and the bill will encourage more to come. 4. The fear that it will add competition for jobs when we already have high unemployment. 5. The belief that this is just a ploy by big companies to get cheap workers in the U.S. that we can hire. And what is interesting is that other than House Republicans, there are 3 lobby groups against immigration reform, and most of their arguments have the same foundation in racism. They just don't want non-whites in the U.S. The immigration reform bill addresses the emotional issues of the opponents straight on and uses facts to respond. The bill does not grant amnesty. It charges a penalty of up to $1,500 per person, a normal fine for a misdemeanor. It also forces immigrants who want a green card to wait a long time, pay taxes, keep a job, and learn English. This is not simple amnesty. The bill creates a level playing field, treating those that follow the law as well as those that don't. It creates a verification system for employers that want to make sure that they're not employing legal workers. It creates severe penalties for those that don't. It requires payment of taxes for those that use services, which does not happen today. And it brings 11 million people out of the shadows into society, giving the confidence of legality as well as the obligations, including paying taxes. The bill improves homeland security. It requires that the Mexican border has 100% surveillance and that 90% of them would be illegal crossers would be caught. It requires a new fence of the border that are built. This is a typical border now, and it provides no security and nothing. People can get through really easily. It requires 35 new 100 officers to be hired, and it mandates that the pathway to citizenship would not be available until after all the border improvements have been completed. The bill improves our economy in many ways. First, it finally modernizes the rules for highly skilled visas. It creates special visas for startup entrepreneurs, allowing them to create jobs. It doubles the number of skilled visas. And it allows high-skilled graduates of U.S. universities to stay and work here instead of going back to their country. Second, the bill will have many positive impacts. It will reduce the deficit by $2.5 trillion, according to the American Action Forum, a conservative think tank. It will increase the GDP by $1.5 trillion over 10 years, according to a UCLA professor, although the congressional budget says it will probably take 20 years. It still will have an impact. It will increase the wages of native-born Americans, according to the study by the respected Brookings Institute, because of new businesses that were created. It will also save up to $2.6 trillion in expelling immigrants, according to CNBC. And the list goes on. The bottom line is immigration reform is good for the economy, which is good for America. More importantly, immigration reform is good for legitimacy and credibility of our own government, which is good for the soul and is good for America. The real issue here, though, is politics and not substance. This is not an argument about real issues because most people agree with the substance. If they are not racist down deep. The only real holdup right now is politics. The good news is that politics is also the hope for resolution. According to several sources, including CNN, House Republicans do not want to spend time on immigration because it would take the spotlight away from President Obama's and the Democrats' problems with Obamacare. With the midterm elections coming in 2014, the more Republicans can focus on anything negative for the Democrats, they will. On the other side, the Republicans are also realizing they need to start to build more support in the growing Hispanic voting population. So politics might drive them to get the immigration reform actually done. And in conclusion, immigration reform is good for our economy and good for our soul. Americans need to pass the Senate's version of the immigration reform bill. It is who we are as a nation. As the famous plaque says on the Statue of Liberty, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of the teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempts tossed to me. I lift my lamp to the golden door. And this is the Statue of Liberty lifting a lamp. It is time we get past our politics and lift our lamp once again. It is time to pass the immigration reform bill and make America better. Thank you.